Howdy guys, it is Catherine Langman here and I'm tuning in from Productpreneur Success HQ and I hope you guys are all doing well. Today we are going to be talking a little bit about Facebook advertising for e-commerce brands and this is definitely a bit of a hot topic at the moment. There's been a lot of changes going on the platform that are really driving a lot of people nuts. So I'm here to talk a little bit about this topic, and I feel like there are kind of two types of people when it comes to Facebook ads. There's those who really love them and are excited to learn more and improve how they use them, and then there are those who are a little bit intimidated by them and would seriously go and rather organize their fridge or something like that rather than get stuck into the Facebook ads. And I also know many of you have probably tried some form of Facebook ad, whether it's boosting a post or using the mobile app version of the Facebook ad platform, or some of you obviously also rolled up your sleeves and getting really serious about them by really diving into the Facebook Ads Manager. And like I said, there's been a lot going on in Facebook ad land lately. As a platform, they've been rolling out a lot of changes and updates over the last few months, and things have been changing in a pretty significant way. So what worked with Facebook ads a year ago or even 6 months ago probably won't work like that anymore. And it's certainly not going to be working like that moving forwards. So does that mean that we should all throw up our hands and give up on the platform in disgust? Nah, I don't think so. Love them or hate them, there's an enormous potential to get in front of your customers with Facebook ads. So the business case for sticking with the platform is definitely there, in my opinion. Now, to be clear, when I say Facebook ads, I'm really talking about buying ads through the Facebook Ads Manager, which enables you to place ads on both Facebook and Instagram, which for the vast majority of e-commerce is what you'll want to do. But you do not want to just boost a post or throw up an ad without a proper strategy. And I definitely see people making a lot of mistakes that really hurt their potential, hurt the potential of their ad to convert into profitable results, which basically costs you money, right? So we don't want to be doing that. So today I'm going to explain the top 5 mistakes that I see e-commerce brands make all the time. And none of the mistakes that I'm going to talk about are really specific about ad types or ad funnels or ad creatives or all of that sort of stuff, once you're actually in the ad platform. And, for sure, it is easy enough to make mistakes with how you actually set up your ads in the Ads Manager. But I believe that, that kind of stuff is definitely fixable, and it's kind of, it's a little bit more predictable and obvious, I suppose. It's certainly stuff that you can get help with easily enough. Whereas there are some bigger mistakes that people make and just don't realize that it's actually really important to the success of their ads. So that's what I want to talk about today, and then I'll give you a step-by-step tangible strategies for avoiding them or course correcting if you might be making these mistakes. And as we go on, whether you're watching live or on the replay, please do feel free to comment with any questions. If I don't see it live, I will absolutely come back to it later and answer you later. I'm just going to make sure that I can see the video feed as I am presenting live, and make sure that I don't miss anything if you do ask me something now. That would be ideal. So let's dive in. Mistake number 1 is actually before you even get into the ads, and this is not setting goals. So the first mistake I see happens, like I said, before you even get into the Ads Manager, and this is something that I see happen a lot, especially with startups, as well as businesses that are already scaling up, and that's not defining what success means for you, right? And what success means for your marketing. So what is your sales goal? What does that look like for the next month, 90 days, and 12 months? What marketing strategies will you execute to achieve that sales goal? And then what's your budget for your ads specifically, and how much are you going to make from that ad spend? And a lot of times people, they start ads too late, right? When they're already desperate for a fast hit of traffic and sales. And then they often pull out too fast, and it's because they've gone into it without any specific goal or definition of success. Like, I think I'll spend $1,000 and see what happens, or $100, or whatever the case may be for you. And what I really encourage people and want people to do is, in order to get the most out of your ads, is to really say, over the next, say, 90 days, I want to make this many sales, whatever that is, which equals this many dollars, and then work backwards from there to figure out what your investment in your ads should actually be. Because if you go into your ads and you're kind of just picking a number and then seeing what happens, what will happen is that you'll start running ads and you'll say things like, oh, I have no idea if this is working or not, and I have no idea where to put my time and energy to get it to work. Or I see people who will boost a post thinking it'll be a magic button that will drive a ton of traffic and sales, and then get super disheartened when that doesn't work like that, right? And so then you end up probably just turning off your ads and waiting a few months and trying, maybe trying again. So I've definitely seen that scenario play out many, many times. And at this point, you might be thinking, okay, Catherine, well, I know how much money I want to make each month in my online store, but I don't know how much I should budget for ads. And so, let me know if that's a familiar struggle for you. So if that's the case, I'm going to break it down a little bit more for you. So as an example, let's say you want to make $10,000 in a month from your Facebook ads specifically. Your average order value, and I'm just going to use round numbers here. Let's say your average order value is $100, which means you need 100 orders to get to that $10,000, right? So an average cost per purchase with your Facebook ads will be around about a quarter of that, so $25 times by 100 orders equals $2,500, right? So your budget for ads would be $2,500. Now, before you start to freak out and think that you can't possibly make money in business if it costs you that much, bear in mind that you should only be getting about 20 to 30% of your traffic and sales from your paid Facebook ads. And those ads will help you to grow your email list and to increase your organic search traffic and your referral traffic. So that $10,000 of revenue from your Facebook ads might cost you $2,500 in ad spend, but your total revenue from all sources should end up being more like $35,000, right? Which is a pretty damn good result in my books, and I would definitely want to be scaling up that business. So the moral of the story is, before you even start your ads, whether, like I said, you're a beginner or intermediate or you're advanced, you need to go into it knowing your sales target and your budget for your ads, so that when you start running ads, you're able to assess whether you achieved that success or not. So that's mistake number 1 for you. And so let's move on to mistake number 2, which is relying only on one channel. This is a really big one, and it's been a common one in recent times, and I totally get it. This is the path of least resistance, so just getting your head around marketing on one platform is definitely going to feel easier than trying to use multiple platforms, especially when every platform is not super easy, right? But it is risky, especially when it's a platform where you actually don't own your audience and you're pretty much at the whims of whatever changes are going to roll out on that platform. And it's also just not going to be that effective either, right? So there's been plenty of research over the decades that proves customers need to see your brand and interact with your brand multiple times before they're going to buy. And if they do that in various ways and on various platforms and in different places, all the better, right? So you will always have a much bigger, better results from your paid Facebook ads if this is only one piece of your marketing puzzle. So once you've worked out all of your marketing messaging and you know who your customers are and you want to be communicating, what you want to be communicating with them, that consistent messaging via multiple channels is what you're looking for. So website, emails, Google, Facebook, Instagram, and wherever else your ideal customers are hanging out, okay? So I especially advocate for you to be always building your email list. You guys have heard me talk about this before, because you own it. So 100% of our clients who are automatically building their email list and using automated email marketing as part of their marketing mix achieve much bigger and more profitable results from their paid Facebook ads compared to the ones who do not use email. It's a stark difference. So building other marketing strategies into the mix, like email and search engine marketing, can literally double the profitability of your Facebook ads. All right, moving on to mistake number 3, and that is not testing enough. So the next mistake that many people make is that they don't do enough testing, especially of your ad creative. So that means the text and the images or the video, right? So in my opinion, when I see someone saying that their ads aren't working, 85 to 90% of the time, it's because the messaging is not hitting the mark with the customer. And it takes a lot of work to really understand who your ideal customer is and what their buyer journey looks like, how to speak to them, and how to stand out in the newsfeed. Most brands will pretty much have multiple segments of ideal customers as well. So for example, our client Baby Ada's Kids Sunglasses have a segment of customers who are buying the superior sun protection, others who are buying the cute fashion aspect, and they might have more than that. Off the top of my head, I can't think of it, but they're the main 2 ones. And the messaging that appeals to one of these segments probably won't appeal to the other. But if you don't test, you won't figure that out, and you'll ultimately be leaving an enormous pile of cash on the table. And especially this year, it's just gotten even more important to go deeper, to take it to the next level with, engaging your audience and really appealing to your ideal customers' pain points and desires. And so a lot of people, mostly because ads can be, a lot of work, but I encourage you to take that extra week if you need as you get ready for ads, just to have at least 3 versions of your ad if you can, and that you're testing. And maybe it's long form copy, maybe it's short form copy, maybe then you have a video, and maybe you might have a carousel of images. So different options, right? Because I'll get this question all the time. Well, what works better, video or image? Or what works better, long or short? And there is no concrete answer because it's truly different for every different audience. And a lot of the time I do see video working better right now, but then in some cases I'll see a static image with no text work better for another brand, or a carousel of images, right? So the more testing that you can do and the more deep that you can go with your messaging to stand out, the better your ad results will be. And like I said, 85 to 90% of the time when your ads aren't hitting that cost per purchase goal, or they're just too expensive, or they're not converting, it's often because of your messaging, because it really does take so much time to really truly know your customer. But the person who knows them the most and who can talk to them best and really get that connection immediately in the newsfeed is going to win. All right, so mistake number 4 is blaming poor results on the ads. And no, I'm not saying that because I'm biased. For sure, there are definitely plenty of situations where I've seen some, pretty awful ads that are causing, pretty crappy results. One situation quite recently, we audited an ad account for a really awesome creative play product for kids. And it was one of those really cool brands that you see all over Instagram, producing awesome images and videos showing kids how to come up with their creative play and imaginative play ideas. And they had fantastic images, and the whole brand personality was bright and vibrant and colorful and fun. And so that's what you would really expect to see in the ads, right? Yeah, the ads were so boring, like not even something that you would stop scrolling your newsfeed for long enough to read or to look at. So that's the kind of scenario where absolutely that's the fault of the ads, that it's not working, okay? But another scenario that we saw recently was for an organic skincare brand that had heaps of amazing social proof, with customers giving glowing testimonials and great user-generated content on their Instagram feed. And their ads were performing poorly as well, but it really wasn't the fault of the ads, it was the website. So the website was just really poorly designed. It was, confusing navigation. None of that brand personality was showing through on the website. And, it really just did not give website visitors a reason to trust the brand or to purchase. So it would have actually been a really extremely disjointed experience for customers to go from the ad to the website. So in that first scenario I described, the ads were the problem, and in the second scenario, it was the website. So you really need to use a mix of common sense as well as, analytical ability to decipher where the issue is. And that can be hard sometimes. If you're the brand owner, you're really close to your brand and you're familiar with your own website, you know where to find everything, it's easy. So it can be very difficult to be objective about reviewing your own marketing and your own website. But it is so, so important to put yourself in the shoes of the customers and look at it from their perspective. And then obviously, you need to learn how to interpret the actual results that the ads are telling you, and to let that data to inform your next steps. Which leads me to mistake number 5, which is not paying enough attention to the numbers. And, this one's a big one. Those of you who've worked with me for a while or have been in my orbit for a little while, you will know how much stake that I place on the numbers. So the 5th mistake that I want to mention today is people not paying attention to the numbers in their marketing. And historically, before the advent of digital marketing, which really does make it pretty easy to track results, we used to have to rely on more broadcast style advertising, so TV, radio, print advertising, and news media, magazines, that sort of thing. And back then, you'd hear the phrase, I know 50% of my advertising works, I just don't know which 50%. Which was true because it was so broadly targeted, and you didn't have the ability to really drill down into the numbers and get that sort of nitty-gritty detail. But nowadays, with digital marketing strategies like Facebook advertising, it's a whole lot easier to track your results. So don't let that fool you though into thinking that you can track results after spending $2 or $10 and assume that that's enough spend and going to give you enough data to extrapolate results out and predict your future success. That's a scarcity mindset talking, and frankly, it's just not going to give you enough data to be a representative result, right? That you can draw conclusions from. So like I said earlier, you definitely need to do enough testing to get your messaging and targeting really dialed in and converting, right? But beyond that, you need to monitor your performance metrics, and you need to monitor them across your website and all of your marketing channels, not in isolation. So the days are very much gone where you could really expect a customer to purchase after seeing one ad or to have one interaction with your brand on one platform. Our marketing really needs to work as a system with that consistent messaging across multiple channels. So if you're reviewing your performance metrics inside your ad manager, and you're seeing a lot of people kind of clicking over to your website, but then, they're leaving, for instance, and what you need to do is you need to go and review your website. So, or if a lot of people are kind of adding product to their shopping cart and then dropping off, don't just run an abandoned cart ad. Literally go through your website and see if there's a sticking point there at that add to cart point that might be causing that drop off. And we actually recently had a scenario just like this, and it turned out that there was this really weird bug in the website that was preventing Android mobile phone users from adding to cart and then proceeding forward to checkout. Nor could they actually go back to the shop and continue browsing afterwards after adding to, trying to add to the cart. So, major bummer when customers can't check out of your store. So good thing was we were able to identify that and fix that issue, and her ad started to convert again immediately. So there you go. That's what I've got for you today. 5 biggest mistakes that I see e-commerce brands making with their Facebook ads. I hope that you found it helpful to have this broken down for you and, really show you the traffic system that you do kind of need to have in place, or at least a piece of the puzzle anyway, in order to scale and grow a successful online store. So as I mentioned earlier, please hit me up in the comments with any questions that you have at all. If you're watching this on replay, I'll absolutely come back and answer you when you comment. Otherwise, jump on over into our Rockstar Productpreneur Facebook group for extra help and support. You can join for free at katherinelangman.com/rockstar.